Hey y'all, it's your girl Gemini Jazz with House of Chiron, and we are back with another episode of Galactic Gossip. Thank you for being here, tuning in. If you are new to my channel, welcome in, welcome. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you will not miss another episode of Galactic Gossip or anything else that I offer here on my YouTube channel. If you are returning, welcome back. I hope everything was well with you last week. What updates, what insight do you have that actually transpired from what we discussed in last week's astrology? Let's talk about it in the description box in the comment section, okay? So anywho, before we dive into this week's astrology forecast, I have a few quick announcements. Of course, first and foremost, it is the astrology membership for House of Chiron. It is Celestial City. It is open and thriving. Also, we have a new feature that is happening this coming week. So on the beginning of the 22nd, the start of the autumn, the first 7 days of the autumn season, Libra season, we will be diving into a 7-day virtual retreat that is hosted by Lizzie's Charm. So Chanel Shiloh with Lizzie's Charm, she is hosting a virtual retreat. There's going to be Reiki offered. There's going to be a psychic medium. There's going to be recipes from when we gather and talk. We can all eat together. It's a fasting 7-day fast. So there's going to be specific things, just kind of getting ourselves ready for the harvest season, to release all of those things that cannot go with us in the new journey. So make sure you hit that description box and you sign up for that. It starts on the 22nd, so there is still plenty of time to register for that. Okay, it's a 7-day retreat. It gets no better, and she's having it at a really decent price. Okay, so much to offer, something new every day. All right, so outside of those two things, I don't have anything that I can offer right now. I do have some things that are working in the background, brewing up some stuff, but I cannot necessarily speak on it as of right now. But in the near future, I'll be talking about new things that are coming. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into this week's forecast, okay? We are going to be covering the energy for September 19th all the way through September 25th. So we are almost done with September. Like September seems to have just gotten here and now it's practically gone. Like we're already halfway through. So anywho, on the September 20th, at the very beginning of this week, we have Mercury, which is in Libra, and it's in its shadow phase, is gearing up to go retrograde, and is going to trine Jupiter retrograde. Okay, and this is Jupiter is retrograde in Aquarius. This happens at 23 degrees on September 20th. This is the same day that we have the full moon in Pisces. Okay, so we're going to talk about both of these energies at the same time. So on this day, the 20th, it's really a great day to learn something new, because this is the planet of information, right? That's Mercury, and it's working favorably with the planet of higher knowledge. So that's Jupiter. So Jupiter is the philosopher, you know, of the cosmos, and it has teamed up with Mercury, which is the messenger, and it's to bring us information and good news. This is a full moon, right? That's also happening at this time. So this is going to be providing that insight, more insight that's going to promote that optimism that we get from Jupiter, and also being able to see what it is that we need to see with clear view and clear vision for the future of our life, right? So making those plans for like a future trip, or maybe to go back to school or something like that, that is highly favored, because Jupiter encourages us to go on a journey, whether it is, you know, a pilgrimage or spiritual journey, or actually go on a journey to learn something new. However, all right, so also keep in mind that we must have an open mind on this day. Be optimistic, be willing to see things differently on this day, because we are likely to receive new awareness and new intelligence that could really shift our perspectives while we are elevating our consciousness with this full moon, and finding that sense of security and that foundation that's rooted in you know, our sense of safety, right? The planetary influence that's happening right now could really help us in various areas of our lives, including business dealings, spirituality, charitable work. any legal matters that could really increase our chance for luck or abundance in our life. So this energy happening at the same time as this full moon is really beneficial, and it's a very positive influence that's happening. So let's shimmy on talking more so about this full moon. It is going to illuminate at 28 degrees in the sign of Pisces on September 20th. And so Mercury trine to Jupiter happens about like an hour before the full moon reaches its peak. So this full moon, as always, you know, they illuminate what has not worked and also what has worked for us throughout the previous cycles. So, you know, full moons are a time for releasing. So we are seeing where we need to release an aspect of our lives, whether that is something that is, you know, mentally or whatever it may be. So this is very essential, especially to our spiritual evolution, as well as our overall growth, to be able to see what has and has not worked for us and be able to take stock of that and then move forward into the next phase or the next journey. So this full moon in Pisces is going to really highlight that balance between the ebb and flow of that natural Piscean energy, and also highlight the balance between that and then the structure, routine of rituals from that Virgo energy, because the sun is in Virgo and the moon is in Pisces. So that opposition always creates a full moon. So the sun is in one side and opposition where the moon is in its opposing sign. So this opposition is really highlighting that need to balance the spiritual side of that Piscean nature and then the ritualistic, daily, mundane, routine energy of that Virgo, right? So we are being called to really answer certain things, like what needs to be let go of in order to keep that balance and that harmony in our spiritual practices, our home, work life, and also our daily routines. So keeping that in mind, we also have to understand that this full moon is occurring 2 days before the start of the autumn equinox, the fall equinox. So this is known as the harvest moon. We are really seriously like honing in on taking stock of all that has grown, manifested, and curated in our lives to understand what methods yield growth, and also recognize the different ways that have enabled stagnation, where things have not grown, where things have not really flourished in a sense. So this is going to promote us to really go within and ask ourselves, you know, are we putting too much emphasis on one area of life and neglecting another area that is equally, if not more, of importance? And so having that Mercury energy, where Mercury is trining Jupiter in Aquarius, it's, you know, happening right before this moon peaks. And this is going to allow that optimistic view to bring in those new ideas and those new perspectives, you know, having that beneficial information to come in, that timely news, and having a clear vision of abundance that is to come, you know, and flow in our lives. This is going to help us really answer those questions that might arise on this day with this full moon. We're also really going to be tapping inward to our emotional capacities, because Pisces is a very intuitive sign. The moon is a very intuitive planet. So the combination of these two energies together is very spiritual, first and foremost, but it's highly intuitive and psychic. So we might be receiving downloads. Pay attention to your dreams, because, you know, it's also happening in a close conjunction with Neptune. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So it's not in an exact conjunction with Neptune, but it is very close in conjunction. I think it's only like a few, like 7 degrees away, I believe. So Neptune is there. And it is like the moon literally just passes over Neptune before it hits its peak at 28 degrees. And I believe Neptune is like at 21 degrees. So there's like a 7-degree difference in that. And that planet of intuition is there in that sign of Pisces, and it's ruling that sign. It rules intuition, dreams, romance. So visualization, even dream journaling are going to be excellent spiritual routines to adopt during this time. Also, you know, paying attention to your dreams, as they may provide some synchronicities or some guidance or even a message from divine or a different realm that's helping you kind of make those decisions on where you should go, what needs to be released, and, you know, having those revelations to come up, right? So at this time, we should really pay attention to not only the dreams, but also those conversations that we are having at this time, because those are also going to be very synchronistic. And make sure that you're paying attention to what is in alignment. Also, something that is assisting with alignment. Like if you're having conversations about something that you previously thought about just a couple of days ago, and now you're having a conversation about it, and it's like, that's interesting. That's giving you some type of guidance. It's giving you that key or that hint of you're on the right track. So that energy is very, very evident. Also, another aspect that's happening with this moon is Neptune making that sextile to Pluto. So Neptune is also, in that close conjunction to the moon, but that Neptune is also making a sextile, which is a beneficial aspect to Pluto. And Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn. And so it's a loose, kind of energy, but even then, it's making that sextile to Pluto, and then the moon is still making all these other aspects while it's loosely making an opposition to Mars, which is in Libra. So we're getting a lot of power, we're getting a lot of energy to take action or even remove what is necessary, to help us clear that path to forge on, right? So Mars is all about releasing, right, and cutting things out. And so right now with this moon being about, releasing, this is really very positive energy. Like we need to let something go in order to kind of push through. And this has a lot to do with work, home life balance, the ebb and flow, something spiritual, those Piscean things. It could even be something of intimacy, because Pisces is all about romance and that intimate nature. So just keeping that in mind, all on the 20th, it's like really, really potent, positive energy. Now, 2 days after that, we have the sun entering into Libra. This is the start of the fall equinox, the fall season. It's the autumnal equinox, okay? So from September 22nd to October 22nd, we're going to have the sun transiting through the balancing, harmony, is that a word? I don't know, but the sign of harmony, right? The sign of the scales, right? So it's going to align directly above the Earth's equator in the sign of Libra. And so this is the indication that we are officially not only in Libra season, but we are also halfway through, right? We've reached the halfway mark. So our days and our nights are going to balance out in equal amounts, just like the Libra scales. So this is keeping that complete balance and that complete harmony in our world. Now, as the Earth begins to tilt and balance things out, right? So we're coming from this summer season and whatnot, and now we're halfway through. And as we are seeing these things, Mars and the sun are beginning to inch closer and closer into a close conjunction at the start of Libra season. So this is going to assist us in asserting ourselves while we are making these decisions, launching new things, making new actions, but we also have to consider others. So partnerships, discipline, hard work, determination, these are the themes for Libra season, okay? So where we have some questions that might come up, it's kind of like, where has there been like an imbalance in our lives? So this is going to show us that. Where has this imbalance in our lives where has it shown up that requires some type of dedication or some type of dedicated work effort, to maintain that harmony that we are seeking? So these type of questions are going to come up. You're going to have to really see what it is that has been happening that's creating the discord, right? That's creating the quote unquote drama, right? Because that's kind of like Libra energy also. It's like the opposing energy of Libra is like, drama and then hide the hands, passive aggressive in a sense. And we have that Mars energy there with the sun, and they're inching closer and closer. So we might have some things come up that's like in a kind of aggressive way, right? To kind of like aggressively show us what needs to be shifted. We are going to be encouraged to take our time, to take it all in, but also keep in mind that the season is shifting, right? And as it shifts, and with that, so have our focuses, so have our gazes shifted. Things are now moving in a different way. So it's a new beginning with this Libra season. The cardinal energy that is here It becomes more potent, more primary. In astrology, we are, halfway through, and we cannot go back at this point. We have come this far. So we are acknowledging who we are, and at the same time acknowledging who we have yet to become, remaining compassionate, remaining fierce at the same time, balancing these two energies that typically don't go together, but we can be compassionate and fierce at the same time. Balance is going to be the key for this season. Okay, so happy solar return to all you Libras. I love you all. All right, now moving on. Also happening on the 22nd, the start of Libra season, Mercury in Libra is going to square Pluto retrograde in Capricorn at 24 degrees. So it's all about thinking. This is all about focusing on something, just kind of like really paying attention, but being given that mental fortitude, right? Mercury is going to square Pluto retrograde, and this is going to bring those intense, powerful thoughts to our psyche. It's going to give us mental fortitude, like I mentioned, using this energy to research our minds and other deep topics to get to the bottom of things. This is highly likely. It's a great day to meet with your therapist, iron out some ancestral trauma, dive into talk therapy, or just simply write in your journal, just kind of get it all out. We may have some secrets that might come uncovered while engaging in some intimate conversations with others. So this might spark a bit of transformation in our perspectives about certain things. So also keep in mind that although this is all happening, and it's happening at the start of Libra season, it's best just to steer clear of conflict, power struggles, or any of those things. Also to remain open-minded, because you need to allow that change and that rebirth to happen wherever it is needed. Okay. Now, moving on, we have Venus making an opposition to Uranus retrograde in Taurus. Venus is in Scorpio, Uranus is in Taurus. This happens at 14 degrees. So this happens on September 23rd. Venus is love and money, while we know that Uranus is about unexpected stuff, right? Amongst many other things. So today we could really get a bit of a surprise in our interpersonal relationships and our finances. We could really experience new things in our relationships, or even then it could be, something exciting, but on the other end, it could be experiences that completely shock us and cause a change, whatever that may be. Okay, so it's highly possible on this day. The request for excitement in your relationship might be rejected because it is making an opposition. So that opposition can bring some strain, right? Some tension. So just practice the pause and breathe through any situation that might come up. Pay attention to your finances, because it is not a great time to go splurge or go on that shopping spree unexpectedly, or even to risk it all in the stock market. It is not the time for that. Okay, do not do that on this day. The key is that, Uranus is here to push us towards liberation and new ways of sensory stimulation, because it's in the sign of Taurus. So find healthy ways to indulge. Okay. Now, last but definitely not least, we have Mars in Libra making a trine to Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. This happens at 7 degrees on September 25th. So hard work, determination, strength, discipline, and perseverance. Those are the summarization of this astrological energy. So being patient through those setbacks and limitations that Saturn brings us and causes us to have will also allow us to become stronger and much more patient in our pursuits. So the work that occurs today will feel less like work, because Mars and Saturn assist us in, actually they work together in helping us to, getting the job done with less stress. So now is a time, if you have been like working on any project or, doing anything like that, we're trying to launch something new, and you haven't had the energy to complete it, then now is the time to do so. If you have been looking to commit to a relationship or some other type of endeavor, go ahead and initiate that thing. Maybe initiate the talk or the action or something like that. So today's energy supports this movement, any kind of movement to move towards something new that is going to have long-lasting results. That is that day, which is today on September 25th. Anything that we put our minds to, right, and then follow through with complete action results in optimal success. That is the key. Okay, so That is all that I have for you for Galactic Gossip this week. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, before you head out, check the description box for the 7-day virtual retreat. Also check it for House of Chiron Celestial City membership and my new Reiki services. Check them out. All right. Thank you once again for tuning in. I look forward to connecting with everyone. Have a good week.